Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another daily Video Devo. Renee here, and I'm with Steve Pridemore. Steve is now a pastor, and Steve, you're up in Marin.
Yeah,
is that
Marin
right?
County,
Yeah, Marin County. Very similar environment, I would say, in many ways to Santa Cruz. But Steve, you have such an interesting conversion story that I wanted you all to hear today, because sometimes in Santa Cruz, many of our friends look at what we believe and they go, man, that's a beautiful thing. It works for you. I just don't believe it. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious in that way. And you can wonder, can people like that really be reached with the gospel? Well, that's Steve's story. So Steve, could you share that with us a little bit? I think it would be really an encouragement.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up around the faith, but had taken some time and got to a point where I really thought, man, this is a beautiful story, but I just don't believe it's true. And no matter what I did, I just couldn't get over that. And I wasn't really antagonistic towards it. I just thought it's just not true. And if other people want to do it, that's great for them, but that's not for me. And ran into a pastor who encouraged me. He just said, I can't tell you anything that's going to convince you that God is real, but I can do this. I can say, God has mercy on the skeptic, and I'll pray for you. And he did that and he encouraged me to pray, God, if you're real, let me know. And so I did that, and didn't change overnight. That was probably 2 years, and not much changed over those 2 years. And then there was a point, really, where I don't know how to explain it other than God decided it was time for me to believe. And I was out in the woods on a snowshoeing trip, and there was just this moment where there was an overwhelming sense of the presence and reality of God, and it didn't make sense. I couldn't explain it. It didn't answer my questions, but it lodged down in my heart below all those questions, and from that point on, everything shifted, and I began to say, okay, well, what do I do with that? How do I make sense of that? And so that it went in deeper, and I can honestly say that to this day, that has never left. I still have some of the same questions I do. I still think things that don't understand.
You found a belief that didn't get rid of your questions, but it's like, here were your questions, and then the belief lodged in deeper than your questions. And I think that's a great way to look at it. You don't have to work your way through your list of questions before you get to belief. Belief can lodge its way under your questions. And I think that's important for you. Maybe you're watching this right now and you find yourself a little bit skeptical. There's a lot of questions. That does not prevent you from having a faith that's foundational to those questions. And maybe you know some people who are kind of skeptics or unsure themselves. You can encourage them, be a seeker, because Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount, if you ask, you will receive. If you seek, you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. Jesus said that. That's a promise. So keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking. Some food for thought for you guys. Thanks, Steve. Thank you guys for listening. God bless you. You're going to have a great day.